Hey guys,
Welcome.
welcome everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Business Show. So, welcoming everyone. So, who's on? Carol, Elias, Tsukisa. Guys, if you jump on, just say the welcome. If it's the first time you're joining, hey George.
That's where from. Hello, George. George from Cape Town, not Cape Town from George.
Hey guys, so welcome on to the Business Show, and today's another episode of the Business Show. And today we are welcoming on Thabo. So Thabo is a good friend of mine, also a business coach. We've been to quite a few webinars and events together. So before we get on to the interview, just a quick introduction. Willie, maybe just tell everyone what the Business Show is about.
Yes, guys. So maybe I should say what is EHQ about. So we kind of met a couple of years ago, and our passion for entrepreneurship led us to this place where we're now. And the purpose of Entrepreneur HQ is to help entrepreneurs move and scale online, and that's kind of how we started off with. And I think Eugene, it fits in quite nicely with today's topic. The purpose of this whole show was to actually give back. So it's something which we do, something which we fund, and the purpose is take guys online, help them scale businesses, take them to the next level, and then contribute back to society. So we as a company ourselves, we do online training. We've got masterminds, which we will tell you a bit about more on a later in the show. The mastermind is typically a place where you can mingle with someone like-minded people. We speak about it quite often, Eugene. Our wives and our girlfriends are sick and tired of listening to all our business talk. So it's a place where you can go and talk to other guys who's experiencing the same problem. So that's kind of what our mastermind's all about. Then we're also business coaches. And then one thing we're quite passionate about is the digital world. Taking your business online, so helping guys build systems, sales funnels, and so forth. So in a nutshell, that's who we are. That's what we want to achieve. Help guys move online and scale.
Yeah. So I see will there be a recording, guys? You can find the recording of this show and all other shows on our website, entrepreneurhq.co.za. You'll see
I'll pop it into the box quickly.
Business Show. So if you click on that, you just have to create an account for you, and then you can log in and you can view all our previous shows. So just ask you for a name and email address or something. So there'll definitely be that. And then, as Willie says, we just about helping guys. So this is something we fund. We don't make a profit out of this. It's our give back part of the of our business and helping entrepreneurs to scale and making them aware of what the possibilities are. Because that's, I think, a big thing that limits all of us is we don't think it can be done. And as soon as you see someone that does it, then all of a sudden it can be done. What's that story about? Does anyone know that story about the 1 minute mile or the 4 minute mile or something? It was scientists that predicted this, and they said it's impossible. They can't do it. You can't run a mile under 4 minutes. And then someone, Bannister or something, ran the first mile under 4 minutes. And within like 2 months, there was 9 other people that ran it under 4 minutes. So just when you see that it's possible, then you can do it. And that's what we try and do through this, is bring other entrepreneurs on so we can show that by them achieving it, it's possible for anyone to achieve it. And then all of a sudden you can achieve it as well. So cool, Willie. And then, guys, we just want to mention our sponsors. So without them, this can't happen. So Willie, maybe just take us through some of the sponsors.
Yeah, guys. So thanks. So eBiz Radio is something very similar to us. They've got an online radio station, so please support them. And then we've got Uprising. Uprising is there. It's a non-profit where they give back to charities, which once again ties in a bit back to our topic today. And then we've got Time IT, which is owned by Eugene, and then Value Smart by myself. And then Tontrack. Tontrack's also the director and owner of Uprising. So, guys, if you want to get involved, please get in contact with either myself and Eugene. And this is something which we can't do by ourselves. It takes an enormous amount of time and effort and money to actually scale this and take it out to the masses so that everyone can, benefit from the show. And yeah, hopefully, if you just take away one thing from the show today, then it's something which you didn't have. It's one thing in your toolkit which you didn't have this morning. So yeah, enjoy the show.
Yeah, thanks, guys, and thanks, Willie, and thanks to all the viewers. Without you, we can't do the show. So if you guys don't pitch up, there's no point in actually running the show. So thanks to all of you guys for joining the show and joining our show each week. And then we'll tell you a bit later about joining our mastermind for 9 Rand. So 9 Rand for your first month. We'll tell you a bit more about that at the end of the show. If you are interested, there's a guy, Les Brown, and he says, show me your net worth, and I'll show you your net worth. So really cool. And it's the people that you have on the show. And every person that's been on the show has been a personal contact or friend of myself or Willie. So it just shows you the network that we've built up and the value of having that type of network. So without further ado, let's get into the show, into the business show. And the crowd goes, wow.
Wow. Thabo, welcome.
Thabo.
Hey guys, how are you?
Thanks, Thabo. Thanks for joining us. We well, thanks.
Thank you.
How's the weather in Limpopo?
It's like 33 degrees. Yo, it's too much.
At least it will take care of Corona. I kill that thing right there.
I agree. This is why we don't have any cases this side.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but it's very nice. I mean, we can sit back and relax and rock our Barcelona jerseys. Yeah, it's the perfect weather for that.
So guys,
cool.
A quick intro. I've known Thabo for a couple of years. We've go to a lot of the same entrepreneur conferences. Thabo had the same coaching qualification as I did, so met him at SA Business Coaches. So we've been to a few of those events. And Thabo, a really successful entrepreneur and just a hustler. You've got quite a few businesses out, quite successful. So firstly, tell us a bit about yourself and about your businesses.
All right. So thank you so much. Good afternoon to everyone. I actually had a PowerPoint presentation up and running, but yeah. So my name is Thabo Mongatane. I am a chartered accountant by profession. And I'm a CEO of the Colon Investment Solutions Group. And what we did with that is that just as a background, I come from a small town called Potis. Those who know back in the days, we call it Mokopane now. So I was born and raised in Mokopane and went to the University of Limpopo to study to become a chartered accountant, then later to UJ. Funny enough, after I qualified, got my second degree, my honors, I was selected to go lecture at UJ. And that's kind of where I could say my career started. And my career with coaching as well. As an undergrad student, I always mentored the class that came after me, that came before me. Is it after? After, yes. The guys that were behind us. Yeah. And then from then, started a couple of businesses. And Willie and Eugene, if you would allow me, I'd like to kind of go into the history of how the businesses came about. So as a young man growing up in the streets of Potis, my mother was a helper in people's houses. And as such, I had to hustle for money, but she also taught us how to sell, oranges and snacks on the side of the road. And that's where I actually fell in love with business. I understood. And my mother was the kind of person that sold anything. If she went to town and then saw something cheaper than it was in the township, she would buy it and then come and resell it. So I kind of learned a lot about business from that age, so much so that at the age of 13, I remember I had $20 to go to a church conference. And when I came back with the $20, but by away from town, I was passing a BP garage and I saw that paraffin was 2 rands and a liter. And I know it sells for $2.50 in the townships, $2.80 if it's at night. And I took those $20, found a 5-liter container, and I put in 5 liters of paraffin, went home, put up a sign that I'm selling paraffin. Within a week, I was talking about 40 liters of paraffin And that was just amazing. And for me, the idea of business has never been about the money. It has just been about, I have this idea, and this idea actually comes to light. You know, we needed paraffin at home, and here I had an opportunity to buy paraffin at a cheaper price. And then because I have so much paraffin, people can actually buy from me, which allows us to actually use the paraffin for free, if you'd call it that. And that has been my idea of business ever since. It's been, I need to do the things that I lack in my life, or the things that I want in my life. And then if there's anything that's left over, other people would buy that. and in my journey of being an entrepreneur, there's a lot of things that I tried. I tried the paraffin until Eskom came into our township and then gave everybody electricity. And then they were in that business. And then I went to university and I started selling airtime, and then airtime went digital, and then they were in that business. You know, and even back when I was in high school, I used to help my uncle in his construction company. You know, we used to mix cement, and we used to call them the Dhaka boys.
Yes.
And so I used to be one of those, and until I realized that, yes, like, this is a lot of work. I need to go back to school. So I'm telling you all of these things so that you can understand why I'm in the kind of businesses that I'm in. So I learned that becoming a chartered accountant is all about business at the end of the day, right? And I need to learn strategies so that I don't lose business like I had growing up. So how do I transition from selling paraffin and then have the change management that comes with it? And as I was speaking to a mentor of mine in Matric, they then said, maybe you should continue studying to become a CA, because you'll study about all these industries. Within the CA exams, they'll teach about all these industries. How does MTN make money? How does Vodacom make money? How does a farm make money? How does Mr. Price make money? And so on and so forth. So that has just been my journey. So I qualified as a chartered accountant, worked for the Office of the Auditor General. And then about 4 or 5 years ago, I quit and I started my own firm. And within my firm, I help helpless people like Thabo, who love business and come up with these crazy ideas, but then, you know, they don't really know. So I help people that are in the position that I could have otherwise been in if I was not a chartered accountant. So I just come in there and then I use my skills. How do you make money? How do you save money? How do you upskill your people? And so on and so forth. And that's why I also went into SA Business Coaches, because I realized that there's that extra layer that's needed. So we do advisory, we do business coaching, we do consulting work, you know, the normal accounting firm stuff. But then I went back. One of the things that I didn't tell you about growing up is that because we were poor, we had the plus winners. So we had those chickens in the house that gave us eggs and meat. And the funny story about that is that my dad and I went and borrowed 2 chickens, a hen and a rooster from his brother. And then after a month, the hen had actually hatched about 12 chickens. And then after 3 months, we took back the chickens to his brother, and then we kept our 12. And then from then we had over 80 of those. From that business, and I call this the unfinished business. From that business, so what we did is then we said, because we are chartered accountants, my best friend and I, we started this in first year. Because we're going to become chartered accountants, let us find a way that we create a company of chartered accountants. But once we make money here as chartered accountants in the firm, we will go and invest in all the businesses that didn't work out when we were kids. We will continue them. So the first business that I did was to actually buy 4 chickens. And from those 4 chickens, that was 2 years ago, we hatch about 400 chickens a week.
Yes. Wow.
And then we decided that, and again, it was just for the family to eat. But then we decided that we're going to scale this up. And we noticed that there's a problem in the world. And the problem is that people buy chicken that they cannot keep. So this white chicken, the broiler chickens, you can keep it for eggs. You can keep it for meat. You can only eat it after 6 weeks. Otherwise, you know, it's not heat resistant. And so what we then said is then we started a business called MFE Chicken. And within that space, MFE is fair, which means give me in slang. So we're giving people chicken that they can keep and get eggs in the morning and eat for lunch or supper. They can either make a pie or whatever the case may be. So we've grown our establishment, and we looking at about 10,000 chicken breeders next year. So we want to collect about 7,500 a day old chicks that we produce every day. So yeah, that's pretty much. And then from there, we then decided if we make more profit out of this, we're going to take that profit and then we're going to invest into similar businesses that have a story. And the story is that we don't want people to depend on food parcels. You know, in a village, you can go and give them this chicken and then they eat it, and tomorrow they're going to need more meat. But then if we take this chicken that we produce and that we're breeding, we can then take it to every village in South Africa, and those that are less fortunate can keep the chickens and multiply them, because a hen can lay up to 280 eggs a year. So yeah, that's the story.
Something that's really inspiring about that, and which I love about that, and what I love about you, and that it's not something that you just talk, it's something that you do, because you talk about it and we can see the impact that you're creating. I've been to so many conferences, and then you ask someone, why do you want to be successful? And then they say, no, when I'm rich, then I'm going to give back. But it doesn't change you. Money only amplifies you. So if you're not giving now, you're not going to give when you get there. And that's one of this pure thing, and we keep seeing it more and more, and we'll talk about it a bit later, how people are giving back instead of just running business for profit, but running business for impact. It's just
such an inspiring story.
Yeah, really inspiring.
Yeah, and one thing that I picked up,
selling oranges and narkies next to the road. That's a journey.
But I mean, one lesson for other guys that's listening to the show, we speak to quite a lot of business owners, and the number one thing I think we hear is, I can't start my business because I don't have any money. And you've spoken about a couple of ventures that you've been involved with, where you've actually not actually had, I wouldn't say had that problem, but you found a solution to get past that and move on to the next stage. Like, I mean, you said you took your pocket money, or the $20 that you had, which wasn't really money there for investing in a business, but you took that money and you managed to just start off small and turn that around, and literally within a couple of months, you had a proper thing going there. I mean, the same with the roosters and the hens. How inspiring! That's a lesson to learn for everyone.
Yeah, but kudos, if I could just
go for it.
If I could add to that, I think the problem with that is that everybody wants to be successful, and when we think about success, it is this big thing, and it's scary. And my idea of success is having an idea and seeing it, flourish. And usually in my coaching sessions, I always ask my clients who start businesses to think about the day that they retire. When will you leave this business? And then they get it. They'll tell you, I want to build 100 billion rand business shop. Okay, but let's come to today. Where are you? Right? Because you need to start where you are with what you have. And that's what success is. So this idea of having big things and stuff, it's perpetuated by the media, social media, and all of these things. But at the core of it is, I kept 4 chickens because I liked them, and then they gave me 18 eggs, and then the next, you know what I mean? And then from the 18 I got 12, and then from then we took it from there, and I mean, from the 12 we had like 5 hens that also laid about 10 chickens each. And then before you knew it, it compounded and it increased. And I think that's the beauty of it. As a principle, right? The number one principle I have in life is that it's easy.
Yes, that is
the minute it's hard,
amazing,
then I'm complicating it.
Yeah, cool.
I step back and I ask myself,
go for it.
We have to keep for us.
And I just ask myself, why is it so complicated? So it might be my thoughts around it that's not working. Because success is a formula, right? I knew to become a chartered accountant, it was challenging. I can tell you how we didn't have lecturers and all of these things, but I made it because I knew if I studied 3 hours every day consistently, I will get in. And that's what I did. And it wasn't difficult.
Cool. Thabo, tell me, how has failure or apparent failure set you up for later success in life?
So I don't think I've ever failed in my life, to be honest. Right? Even when the 80 chickens that my dad and I had died, I just said, "Oh, it's because we didn't vaccinate them." Okay.
Okay. So
If
it wasn't a failure; it was a lesson.
It was a lesson. When I lost money trading, trading shares and whatnot, I looked at it and I said, "Oh, no. Actually, I need to get educated in this, or at least put someone in charge that can do it." Because again, it's not failure; it's just that something didn't work out. Because somewhere in the formula of success, there is an element that I didn't follow. I didn't follow the rules, and that is why I got burned.
Yes, how important
I didn't prepare for the lockdown. That is why my business suffered. I didn't take my business online, even when I knew, and I went to the States to study this, even when I knew, and Willie always says, take your business online. I didn't take my business online when I had the opportunity. So when the lockdown hit, it hit hard. Yep. And I can either spend time being worried about that, or I can say, okay, now I need to listen to advice when I get it, especially when I'm convicted that it's the right and correct advice, and it works with the formula of success.
Yes, that is super cool. Love that. That is definitely something everyone should live by. And if you think about it, stress and anxiety and stuff comes from living in the past or living in the future. And something
that didn't happen
about it is if you live with this mindset that you have, and mindset is such a big part of entrepreneurship. And if you live with this type of mindset and this type of belief, you almost remove the stress and anxiety, and you elevate yourself to a state of happiness where you're constantly happy. And Tiffany was last week on the business show, how once you're in that state, how you start attracting all this success and successful people, and just because everyone wants to be around you, because the whole time.
Just that positive energy that comes to the table, right?
Yeah.
It has to be.
And it's also from an innovation point. So that's something you learned from a very young lesson is, for example, the paraffin when the electricity came in, and then the airtime, and then airtime on digital.
Yeah.
Isn't that just so prevalent in today's business as well? Lockdown forced us to innovate. So it's this
you have to keep up constantly.
Yeah.
Do you agree with the constant thing in your business and your life?
So I think because we learn these things, I think we've already studied them. A previous relationship with an ex has already told us that we need to do change management. And I think keeping up with the times is so important. Yeah, I know. I saw you guys are like, oh, okay, which one? You probably thought of a certain ex, but I think the lesson there is that you must always give people what they want. Business is about people. If people spend too much time on their phone, Uber started because people were lazy. They said, listen, we want a car that can fetch us from home and take us where we want to be. And then later it became an issue of, okay, it's too expensive. Maybe let's ride share. How can I reduce the cost? Okay, if I ride with other people similar to. So I think the thing with it is that it's easy. It's about what you need in your life, and also just find people that also need the same thing. With the internet, you can find them. I can find people that want these chickens quite easily, and then I can plug into that community because those are the people I'm going to sell to. And I don't need to negotiate price or anything because they already understand what this chicken can do. Whereas if I go into a market of these people not understanding this thing, they would say, okay, but your chickens are too expensive, not understanding that they're breeders.
Yes.
That is cool, and it's definitely stuff that really I think we can take away for ourselves as well. Is this is real life lessons, so it's like real, even regardless what level you are on. This is stuff that will work regardless of level, and I think even for us, for the business show, we have challenges for the IT business and our accounting business and stuff. We have constant challenges and stuff, and just changing our paradigm, how we see stuff.
Can I also add something to that? So sometimes when we struggle, I always pause and ask myself, why is this difficult, right? And then it might be difficult because I'm not the person to do that. I'll give you an example.
Yes.
I'm a strategist. I can think, I can put things together, but I will not do. Once I've come up with something and I know that it's going to work.
You're a creator.
Yeah, and then someone else needs to come in. So I believe in strength, in strength coaching, right? And that's one of the things that I love, is that we need to focus on our strengths and not our weaknesses. If I am not an IT person, I've got no business, and I'm going to be frustrated trying to do IT stuff. So who do I know that is unemployed or also has a similar passion? Where can I find this person? Where do they live? What do they look like? What do they eat? And I find that person and I plug them into my business. It becomes easier. You see what I mean? Yeah. And then that allows me to go to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. So if there's if there's a challenge, pause, ask yourself, why is there a challenge?
Mm. Wow.
And then the second question is it me who's supposed to do this thing? Because you'll be creating logos.
Wow. Definitely, and I think working with your strengths. So we've got the mastermind group. A lot of our members are on here as well. So Sonia and Mike, George, all the guys, they're members of our mastermind group. Yeah. And we actually did the Enneagram, wealth dynamics, value determination, all that sort of stuff. I mean, it's really important to work according to your strengths and according to what your personal strengths is. So if you look, for example, the Gallup Strength Finders and your personality profiling and all that sort of stuff, I mean, it's critical to figure out what your strengths are and how to use that to your advantage. And whatever is your weakness, that needs to be outsourced. And we're moving into now this digital age where it's not the old days where you have to employ someone to do the work. Now it's becoming this collaborative network where my strength is this, Willie's is that, is something else. How can we find those skills to leverage us to go up to the next level?
It's typically the shared economy type of thing, you know. And our cool set, I mean, we've been taught in school is so we do shitty at maths and they send you to extra maths classes as opposed to saying you're a great linguist, so just go and do do that job. So that's kind of, and it's quite the mind shift, if that's the right word, to get into that paradigm, you know. So cool.
Very So then just a question, we talk a lot about mindset, and myself and Willie's belief is also about mindset, how you can use your mindset or other mindset of different entrepreneurs. If we look at the people that we interview and then some of the entry guys that comes into business, just what a big difference their mindset is. And we see it now from you, the way that you think, the way that you analyze things, it's just on a different level. What is some of your habits and some of your mindset tips and tricks that you use that's made the biggest impact in your life, in your business career?
I think the first one is not trying to fight reality. It is what it is. That's what I call it. I have a mindset of it is what it is. I grew up poor. We didn't have money. It is what it is. You know, it is what it is. And there's certain things that I can't change, but those that I have control over, I then look at the success formula. How can I move it from here to there? Okay, I need to speak to Willie. I need to do this. So I think the first mindset is understanding it is what it is, and I am in this current situation. Whether that's right or wrong, it doesn't matter. What matters is how do I move from here to the next stage without frustrating myself. And the best way to do that is to find people that have walked that journey. So I believe so much in mentorship. I believe so much in mentorship. I've been a mentor for my whole life, and I will always say, find a mentor, then find a coach. A coach will ask you questions, a mentor will give you answers.
Just so powerful.
Powerful. So I think I've got a last question, Eugene, before we move on to the sustainable goals. Thabo, we speak quite often about not trying to reinvent the wheel. If you want to succeed, go find someone that's successful like yourself and follow the recipe that they've got out there, because it's obviously working. So what 3 pieces of advice would you give to new startup entrepreneurs entering the real world of entrepreneurship now?
Yeah, so there's nothing new under the sun. So someone has done this before.
Yep.
So find out how it's done and use international models. so that's the first thing. The second thing is that collaborate. If we bring different skill sets together and we give a service offering that is better than most. So if you look at ShopRite, they're not only selling groceries now, they went into hardware.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? They went into liquor, they went into all those industries. If you can find a network that you can work with, and therefore you can be able to split your work with. The third thing is, don't be obsessed with being a CEO.
Yeah,
there's so many CEOs. I see you guys can relate. There's so many CEOs of broke companies.
Yeah.
There are so many broke CEOs on LinkedIn. Don't be obsessed with being a CEO. Be obsessed with making a difference and making the organization work. For me, those are the top 3 things that I can think of.
Yes, that's fine. Thanks so much.
Thanks for sharing that. They're really inspiring.
Yeah.
So we've been to a couple of conferences, and that's where our values intertwine as well. And that's why we have this business show. It's our way of giving back.
Sure.
And trying to help other entrepreneurs and just show them through, for example, your journey. You started with 4 chickens.
Yeah.
The difference between someone who's successful and that isn't successful is the guy who's successful actually starts. And we always have this excuses why we don't start. And you've just shown and just how inspiring that is. And the idea is to inspire other entrepreneurs to start. Just take your business online or just start. I mean, today you can start an online business in a week. It's not a big thing that it used to be years and years ago. But we met quite a few times now at these conferences, and we share the same interest in the UN Sustainable Goals. So actually I have a slideshow. I wonder if you can maybe just talk a bit about the Sustainable Goals. I just want to get the slide up. So for the guys that don't know about it, the UN actually made 17 sustainable goals. I know this is a big drive for you, Thabo, where business isn't about profit anymore. Profit's still important. There's an additional element, which is impact. How do you impact the world? How do you move the world forward? We have responsibilities as entrepreneurs to give back and to help and to educate and to do all these things. So take us through this a bit, Thabo.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Willie. Eugene. So I think with the goals, as I explain it, everywhere I explain the goals, as I say, the goals are the things that we talk about at Bryce, and the things that we talk about in our WhatsApp groups and stuff. So these are the things that we talk about every day. That, there's poverty, there's the quality of education is poor, and so on and so forth. So what the UN did is that they got all these presidents to come sit together and then decide and said, okay, these are the things that people speak about in Bryce in South African. This is what they say in Bryce in America and whatnot. And then they came up with these 17 goals and said, we don't want hunger, for example. We want quality education. We want gender equity. We want the blue economy, we want, all these things that we talk about. So, and I think the biggest drive that you will see coming into business these days is that there's a lot of money that's been put for impact investors. So these are investors that want to put money for projects that will add value. So if you go back to my chicken business, we started it because we identified that we live in a village and a lot of people are poor, and a lot of people cannot afford to actually spend money because there's no money coming in. And therefore, if they are able to use the little that they have to buy a chicken that can reproduce, and our story is testament to that, over the long run, everybody would have chickens and they will be able to keep their own chickens. So with the Sustainable Development Goals, when you do your business, I think that the biggest thing is with the 17 goals that are put there, we kind of need to now go back and say, well, looking at my business, where do I fit in? What problem am I trying to fix? Because there's already a framework that the whole world has agreed on to say that if we want Africa to be as competitive as, you know, Asia or the Americas, we need to do these following things. So you go back to your business and then say, okay, with the company that I'm starting, I'm trying to create employment and then, you know, access to great jobs. And I'm also employing women, therefore there's gender equity. And therefore I'm reducing poverty and so on and so forth. So once you understand those, once you link them to that, you understand the impact that your company is having, but also you would be so motivated because business is difficult sometimes, right? It gets, like I can tell you stories about how 600 of all of our chickens died last year and we had to start from scratch, right? And what kept us going is understanding the impact that this will have if we don't do this. So the question to ask there is, if your business did not exist, what would people be losing out on?
Yes.
And that's what the sustainable development goals are about.
Yeah, and how powerful is that?
Also a big difference that we see between businesses that's a lot more successful. Because if you take business in a nutshell, what is business in a nutshell? It's about solving someone's problem.
Yeah.
The thing is, let's call it this, more startup businesses. If we look on, for example, the Wealth Lighthouse, so the red level businesses are there to try and generate an income. So they just want to make money. There's no problem solving or anything like that. As the business moves up to green level or blue level, it's about impact and how they are impacting people's lives. And this is where businesses start scaling. And that is such a big difference between, let's call it the smaller businesses or the less successful businesses and the 10, 20, 100 million rand businesses, is they drive more impact. And that is, I think, something that all of us should do is from the start decide what our impact is going to be.
Got you.
Wait until we reach a certain point. Because money is not going to change you. Money is only going to amplify you. So if you're not doing it from the start, you're never going to do it. And
there we go.
For bigger reasons. So Simon Sinek talks about start with why. If you don't have a purpose, if you don't have a why, what's the point? Then you might as well go work for someone. So
how cool is that, though?
Really powerful. So guys, I'll send the UN Sustainable Goals on our WhatsApp group after the show, and then think a bit about how you can impact. How can you change your business for impact instead of just for profit? Because once you start impacting people's lives, and once you start impacting in the UN 17 Sustainable Goals, it's going to make a massive, massive difference in your business. So let's go to the questions. I see there was a few questions on it. I think Stefan also asked, so Thabo, I don't know if you want to answer this. So what sort of business can you start online if you have internet and time? So I think that comes back down to purpose and why.
Yeah.
Something to look at is the Ikigai. So the Ikigai tells you, what do you love? What do you have an exceptional skill at? What's the Ikigai, Willie? Thabo, you also know that. What needs, what you can make money from, and what you have a skill at, something like that. So Stefan, go look at the Ikigai. Thabo, something you want to answer to that? So what business can I start if I have internet and time?
So you always start with the low-hanging fruit. Who are you? What do you have to offer? I am a guy who had 4 chickens. Therefore, I had to offer that. It starts that I'm a chartered accountant. And what can I offer people? So again, you go back to what do they call it again? Giving what people want. So you need to go back to market and find out in your area, what do people need? So as a chartered accountant that's living now in Potis, I realize that there's a lot of small businesses that can scale. And part of it is because they don't know how to tell their story, or they don't see the impact that the business could be. And it's small things that can then be tweaked. So it's about who you are and what kind of skills you have. Definitely coaching is one of them, but coach in your area. And I think, Eugene, this is where we met when you came in to say that coach in your area of passion, but also in your area of expertise.
Yes. Yeah. Definitely. Niche yourself. That is one of the biggest areas that we struggle with when I coach people, is I tell them to niche themselves, and they have this perception that I'm actually going to lose business if I niche myself. But you actually start expanding. And that's a whole nother topic which we won't.
Yeah. Blue ocean, red ocean strategy. So
So then can we use this platform to connect with mentors and coaches? If you want to do that, then you have to join our masterminds. Myself and Willie are coaches, and there's a lot of mentors in there as well. There's guys successful in many different businesses. So if you want to join our mastermind group, it's basically a WhatsApp group. Guys, do you mind if I take 2 minutes to share quickly, just for the guys that don't know about our mastermind group? So I can just share with you how you can join that. Is that okay if I quickly share that? Just want to take 2 seconds, and then we can ask another 1 or 2 questions for Thabo before we jump off. So our mastermind is basically 9 Rand for the first month. So we want to make it as cheap as possible. Like I said, we're not making a profit out of this. There is a thing that if there's no monetary value in something, there's no value. Anything of free doesn't have value. So if you lesson for your own business, if you're giving something away for free, people aren't going to appreciate it. You need to attach money to it before there's appreciation and before people will actually take action. So we created a mastermind. What do you get in the mastermind? So we've got a whole bunch of courses that myself and Willie built, and we've got a few other partners, and there's our CAP as well. So our EHQ tribe, then you become part of our tribe. Lifetime access to all our courses. We've got monthly mastermind subscription, which you get with that as well. So that's our WhatsApp group. We've got monthly Zoom group coaching sessions. So where myself and Willie coach you. We've just launched our business directly. So we're continuously improving and scaling this. When we started this, we only had 1 course. Now we've got about 7 courses. So you continuously get access to our new courses. And then we launched our business directly. So our idea is that we want to do business with everyone in our tribe. So we're creating our own economy. If you've got a product or service, you immediately have everyone in the tribe that you can sell your stuff to, that you can sell your products and services to, which is just such a cool thing. Imagine creating our own economy in our own tribe. So we all support each other. Instead of going out to do business, you do business inside the tribe. And then we start offering discounts and we collaborate and. So just an amazing incentive that we brought on as well. So there's a thing about all our courses. We've got cash flow, Shopify, Facebook courses, how to build sales funnels, how to automate your business. It just goes on. And then, like I mentioned, our business directory, our WhatsApp groups, our monthly coaching sessions. And if you do want to join that, on the right-hand side, you will see there is a offer. If you put in promo R9, so that is only available for this particular call and only on our webinar, then you can get the first month for 9 Rand. So guys, if you want to join it, on the right-hand side, you'll see our offer there. Click on that and then put in promo R9 and you can join our mastermind group. And soon we'll be giving out our caps as well. So our caps is going to launch. We just got the design back for our shirts. So we're going to have EHQ tribe. So if you become part of our tribe, we want to create our own community. Like-minded entrepreneurs. That's all. There's no other commitments about it. You have to be proactive, help each other, be positive, and just creating a community where you can network with like-minded entrepreneurs. Because entrepreneurship is a lonely journey. And Thabo, I think you'll agree with that as well. It's a really lonely journey to be an entrepreneur and to find people, like-minded entrepreneurs. It's difficult, man. It's difficult to find people on the same team.
It's very lonely, but then you realize that you are better off, because similar to dating, everyone was necessary for you to meet the one.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Guys, I want to thank you. We try and keep it 99 Rand per month after that. So it's 9 Rand for your first month and then 99 Rand for every month thereafter. The amount of value is ridiculous. It's the cheapest mastermind in South Africa at the moment, or one of the cheapest we could find. So we really want to make it as cheap as possible so everyone can join and everyone can be part of it. There's no contracts, there's no commitments. You join us on our business show, WhatsApp groups, courses, coaching. Ridiculous.
So and it's also a month-to-month subscription. So if you want to cancel it, then you just cancel it.
Yeah. Thabo, I want to say thanks, man. This has probably been one of my top business shows, top 3 business shows that we've done. It's really inspiring. It's just cool that the world has people like you in it. It's the world's a better place for having you in it. So I wanted to say thanks for joining us. And thanks to our viewers for joining our show.
Yep.
We can't have the show without our viewers. So, guys, thanks for joining our show. Join our mastermind, become part of our tribe, become part of our network. And otherwise than that, go out and start your business. You can't be successful if you don't start. Thabo, any last
Thank you guys for everything. What's that?
Any last words?
Thank you so much for your time, and any last words?
All right. So thank you guys for inviting me. I had such a vibe. And I think my last words are this. If you complicate it, it's going to become complicated.
Yes.
So keep it simple.
What a piece of advice, Eugene.
You too. Businesses.
They say there's always 3 pointing back to yourself.
Yeah, I know.
Well, thank you, guys. Thank you, Thabo.
Guys, see you soon.
Anytime. Thank
Cheers,
you.
Bye.
Cheers, guys.